Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So before I get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll wait. Did you hit it yet? Cool. And what about that bell button? You hit it? You turned it on for all notifications? Okay, cool. Now on to the video. So this video is going to be my labor and delivery story. I did not have a normal pregnancy and labor. Usually it comes with all sorts of complications, but this is just my story and what happened for me. Everybody's journey is going to be different, so don't take this as what it can happen to you if you are pregnant or expecting your first child, but this is just how the situation went for me. So the first thing that basically was complicated during my pregnancy is I had a lot of breathing problems. I used to have random aches and pains here and there. Looking back on my paperwork, I found out I did have cancer. I think about halfway through my pregnancy is where I see that going to the emergency room, my platelets were low, and that's another thing that lymphoma causes. And I'll link that video up above about my situation about what lymphoma is and how I went through it. So I used to miss work a lot because I would have to go home because I had a hard time breathing. I would get lightheaded really easily, and I just had a desk job, so there was really no reason of me to have breathing problems or be lightheaded because at that point I didn't know I had cancer. So it was kind of just, we were just thinking it was just something going on with the pregnancy. So I had a high risk pregnancy because I also have type 2 diabetes. So I did get an ultrasound of my baby for the first 6 months. I got ultrasound every month, and then eventually it changed to every 2 weeks, and then the month before I had her it was every week, and sometimes I would have to come in twice a week depending on how my diabetes was being ran. About time I got to about the beginning of August, I did have to leave work and go on bed rest. At that point I went into nesting. I sat in the floor and let my husband do our house. He did everything by himself, and I really appreciate him. And around the time, I think a little bit before that, I had my baby shower, so I was just folding clothes, putting things up in bed, just getting everything prepared for when she was coming. And going into nesting is just basically preparing for your baby. So then the day of that I was supposed to go in, that Tuesday I went in when I was supposed to. I did ask for a pool. I wasn't able to get a pool because they had to constantly monitor the baby for me, and the monitor I had, I couldn't soak into water. So that was something that I wish I could have done, but you live and you learn, and maybe next time I'll be able to do it differently. And then so they tried to get me to dilate it. But I wouldn't dilate. They put this balloon thing inside of me. It expands, and it's not supposed to come out until you reach 3 centimeters. Mine came out at 1.5 centimeters, so that was another thing, that it wasn't actually supposed to come out. So that was another complication I was having there. Okay, so Tuesday they tried everything. Wednesday they tried again. Thursday they went into trying the balloon thing where it expands inside of me and not supposed to come out at 3 centimeters. Mine came out at 1.5 centimeters, so that was my first complication. So Thursday night they had and broke my water. I say about between 6 and 8 o'clock that night. I was only 1.5 centimeters, but just to see if it could jumpstart my labor. I started to have contractions, which contractions weren't that bad for me. I have a really high pain tolerance, so it was because my contractions were so back to back that it didn't give me time to breathe in between, and it also wasn't giving my baby a time to breathe in between, which was causing both of our oxygen levels to drop. Then I was dilating so slow. I was only dilating about 1 centimeter every 2.5 hours, which you're supposed to dilate, I believe, within 12 hours or either 24 hours after your blood. It's 24 hours after your water is broken, and by 6 o'clock the next Friday afternoon, I still had only made it to about 8 centimeters, so they went ahead and scheduled for me to have a C-section. I panic attack during my C-section, so they ended up putting oxygen on me just to make me feel better. They cleaned me off, got the baby out pretty quickly. I didn't want to hold her because everything just felt so numb, and I was still so wheezy from having about 4 epidurals, because every time they would check my cervix, my epidural would disappear. So I would start to feel pain again, and it's not that I couldn't take the pain, it was just that pain equaled my oxygen level dropping. So then after that, they wrapped her up. My husband took pictures, cut the umbilical cord, and he brought her over to me. I got to kiss her, and I told my doctor thank you, and they brought her back to me. I went in my room, and at that point, my family came, and his family came to see the baby. I did skin to skin. My husband also did his skin to skin. Then when the room was ready, they took me to my room. At that moment, that's when I started to feel a lot of pain, and they said it was just because of the C-section. But I'm just like, even though I hadn't had a baby before, I just knew it was something wrong about that pain. Like, it didn't feel like the type of pain I probably should have had just for having a C-section, and it wasn't. So, and I went home normally after I think about 2.5 days. And then leading up to it, 6-week postpartum, they gave me an additional 2 weeks to heal because I had a C-section, and then that's when the pain really started to hit me, and I was actually kind of overdosing on medication. I am blessed to say nothing happened to my kidneys or my liver. They said when I went through treatment, they said my kidneys and my liver were perfectly fine, but I was taking 2 800 milligram pills every 6 hours, so that's 1,600 milligrams. And when I ran out of that, I was taking 4 Tylenol PMs, one to make me sleepy while the baby was asleep, and I had to stop breastfeeding because 1, my supply was starting to go because I had cancer, and then 2, I had a lot of medication in me that really wasn't a great thing for her. So that's my labor and delivery story. Nothing too exciting, just a lot of complications and a lot of pain and leading up to me having cancer. And I'll link my video up above on how I found out I had cancer. So if you like what you have heard, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, don't forget to leave them down in the comment. And I want to start doing comments of the day. My comment of today is going to be, if you had any complications during pregnancy, what was the hardest complication that you had to go through? And if you didn't have any complication, what was something you wish that you could change during your labor and delivery process? Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button so you won't miss any more videos by me. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.